I ruined my sister's life in front of 8 million people. And the worst part? I didn't even know I was doing it. Let me be clear about something from the start. I'm not the villain in this story. At least, I didn't think I was. But when you're standing in the wreckage of someone's entire existence, holding the match that lit the fire, those distinctions start to blur. My sister hasn't spoken to me in 11 months. Our mother refuses to say my name out loud. And somewhere out there, in the endless scroll of the internet, there's a version of me that 8 million people know better than I know myself. A version that's been dissected, analyzed, and immortalized in think pieces about toxic family dynamics and digital warfare. It started so small. Just a screenshot. Just one moment of our lives, frozen and uploaded. That's all it took to set everything in motion. The lies, the revelations, the betrayals that cut so deep I sometimes forget what our family looked like before. People always ask me if I do things differently, knowing what I know now. And here's the truth that keeps me awake at 3 in the morning. I don't know. Because what my sister did to me was unforgivable. But what I did back, what I uncovered and exposed in my fury, that might have been worse. This is the story of how a family argument became a viral spectacle, how privacy died in the comment section, and how I learned that sometimes the person you're trying to destroy is holding a grenade that'll take you both down. My sister Jade and I grew up thick as thieves in Manchester, just 2 years apart, sharing everything from clothes to secrets to dreams. She was the creative one, always filming little videos, always performing for an audience that didn't exist yet. I was the practical one, the planner, the sister who made sure we actually had money for the petrol when we took spontaneous road trips. We balanced each other perfectly, or so I thought. By the time I was 26 and she was 24, we'd settled into our adult lives with remarkable ease. I worked in digital marketing for a sustainable fashion brand, pulling decent money and building something that felt meaningful. Jade was a content creator, which I'll admit I didn't fully understand at first. She'd started a lifestyle channel 3 years earlier, posting about fashion hauls, makeup tutorials, and day-in-the-life vlogs. Her following was modest but growing, about 40,000 subscribers who genuinely seemed to adore her. I was proud of her, honestly. She'd found something she loved and was making it work without the traditional career path everyone expected. Sure, Mom worried constantly about her having a real job, but I always defended Jade's choices. I'd grown up watching her light up when she performed in school plays, when she nailed a presentation, when people paid attention to her. Content creation was just an extension of that natural charisma. We shared a flat in Chorlton, splitting everything down the middle. It worked brilliantly for 2 years. We had our rhythms, our boundaries, our inside jokes that made living together feel less like cohabitation and more like an extended sleepover. Every Sunday, we'd cook together, trying new recipes and laughing at our failures. Every month, we'd have a budget meeting over wine, making sure we were on track with rent and bills. I genuinely believed we were closer than most siblings ever managed to be. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday evening in March. I'd come home from a particularly brutal day at work, the kind where every email feels like an attack and every meeting drains something essential from your soul. I was looking forward to collapsing on the sofa with something mindless on Netflix, maybe ordering takeaway if I could scrape together the energy to make that decision. Instead, I walked into chaos. Our living room had been completely transformed into what looked like a professional photo studio. Ring lights blazed from every corner. A backdrop stand held a seamless white sheet. My favorite throw blanket, the chunky knit one I'd saved for 3 months to afford, was draped artfully over our armchair, which had been moved from its usual position. Jade was in the middle of it all, dressed in an outfit I'd never seen before, posing with a coffee mug I definitely recognized as mine. I stood in the doorway, bag still on my shoulder, trying to process the scene. She saw me and waved cheerfully, holding up one finger in a just-a-minute gesture. She took 5 more photos, checking each one on her camera screen, before finally turning to me with a bright smile. Asked what is happening, trying to keep my voice level despite the exhaustion pulling at my edges. She explained she was shooting content for a sponsorship deal with a coffee brand, something about morning routines and cozy aesthetics. The setup would be there for a few more hours while she edited and selected the best shots. I felt something twist in my chest, a small knot of irritation I immediately tried to dismiss. I asked if she could have mentioned this, maybe given me a heads up that our shared living space would be occupied. She looked genuinely confused by my tone, saying she didn't think it was a big deal since she'd be done soon. Besides, I was usually fine with her filming. And she was right. I had been fine with it. But something about that particular day, that particular exhaustion, made it feel different. I was suddenly hyper-aware that I couldn't relax in my own home, that I had to navigate around equipment and wait for her to finish before I could reclaim my space. I didn't say any of that, though. I just nodded, dropped my bag, and retreated to my bedroom, ordering food on my phone and eating it alone while I heard her moving around, packing up her setup. The next morning, I woke to 17 notifications. Text messages from friends, DMs on Instagram, even an email from a former colleague I barely kept in touch with, all saying roughly the same thing, all with the same screenshot attached. Jade had posted on her Instagram story. The photo showed our living room in all its cozy, curated glory, the throw blanket positioned perfectly, warm lighting making everything glow. The caption read, "POV, your sister comes home in a mood and acts like you filming content in a shared space is a personal attack. Grateful for my own career and the freedom to create without permission. Hashtag content creator, hashtag sister drama, hashtag independent woman." I stared at that screenshot until the words stopped making sense. She'd taken our private moment, our tiny friction, and broadcast it to 40,000 people. She'd made me the villain in a story I didn't even know was being written. The comments were already rolling in, strangers offering their judgment on a situation they knew nothing about. Some defended her, talking about how hard it was to be a creative person living with someone who didn't understand the hustle. Others questioned why I'd be upset at all, suggesting I was jealous or controlling. I felt something crack open inside me, something that had been building without my awareness. This wasn't about the story. This wasn't even really about the filming. It was about the fundamental betrayal of taking our private life and making it content, of turning me into a character without my consent. I confronted her before she left for a brand meeting. I showed her the screenshot, asking why she'd posted that, why she'd made our argument public. She barely glanced at it, shrugging as she applied mascara in the hallway mirror. She said it wasn't a big deal, just a relatable moment her followers would appreciate. People loved that kind of authentic content. It made her more human, more accessible. I asked her to delete it. She said it had already been up for hours, and besides, it would expire in 24 hours anyway. No permanent harm done. That phrase echoed in my head for days afterward. No permanent harm done. As if 40,000 people forming opinions about me based on her version of events wasn't permanent. As if the erosion of trust between us could be reset like a story timer. I wanted to let it go. I told myself I was overreacting, that this was the price of living with someone whose job involved sharing their life online. But something had fundamentally shifted. I started noticing things I'd previously ignored. The way she'd mention arguments we'd had in her vlogs, always framing them in ways that made her look reasonable and me look difficult. The way details of my life would appear in her content without my permission. How she'd film me without asking, then act hurt when I objected. Our Sunday cooking sessions became tense. Our budget meetings turned into silent affairs where we barely made eye contact. The flat that had felt like our sanctuary started feeling like a stage where I was constantly performing, or worse, constantly being watched for material. Then came the rent. May arrived with unseasonably cold rain and a text from our landlord that made my stomach drop. We were 2 weeks late on rent. This wasn't normal. We'd always paid on time, always had our systems in place. I immediately checked our joint account, the one we'd set up specifically for shared expenses. The balance was £340. Rent was £1,450. I felt ice spread through my veins. I'd transferred my half, £725, on the first of the month, exactly as I always did, which meant Jade's contribution wasn't there. I checked the transaction history, scrolling back through April, March, February. She hadn't paid her full share in 3 months. The pattern was subtle, but unmistakable. In February, she'd been £200 short. In March, £400. In April, nothing at all. Small amounts had been going in, but nowhere near her half. I'd been so buried in work, so used to our automatic systems, that I hadn't noticed. We'd had enough buffer in the account from previous months to cover the shortfalls, but now we'd hit empty. I confronted her immediately, bank statements pulled up on my phone. I asked her directly what was happening with rent. She looked uncomfortable for the first time since our story incident, avoiding eye contact as she mumbled something about things being tight lately, about waiting for payments from brands to come through. I felt my voice rise despite my attempts to stay calm. I asked why she hadn't told me, why she'd let it get to this point, why she'd been paying partial amounts without any communication. She got defensive, snapping that I was being dramatic, that it was just temporary, that her income fluctuated, and I should understand that. I should understand that? I'd been covering her shortfalls for 3 months without knowing it, and I was supposed to just understand? I told her I needed the money by the end of the week or we'd face eviction proceedings. She rolled her eyes, said I was being over the top, that landlords didn't actually evict people that quickly. The conversation ended with her grabbing her filming equipment and leaving for the day, saying she had content to shoot and couldn't deal with my negativity. I spent that afternoon doing something I'd never done before. I started really looking at her online presence. Not just casual scrolling, but deep investigation. I watched her recent vlogs with new eyes, paying attention to the details I'd previously ignored. In a vlog from 3 weeks earlier, she'd shown a haul of new camera equipment. Expensive lenses, a gimbal, a professional microphone setup. Easily £2,000 worth of gear, all purchased while she was apparently too broke to pay rent. In another video, she'd featured a weekend trip to Edinburgh, staying in a boutique hotel, eating at trendy restaurants. The vlog was sponsored, but I knew how sponsorships worked from my marketing job. They usually covered travel and accommodation, not the designer outfit she'd worn or the additional shopping she'd documented. Then I found the Instagram posts. Designer handbags, new trainers, a full skincare routine featuring products that cost more than our weekly grocery budget. All posted while she was paying partial rent, while our joint account dwindled, while I unknowingly covered the gaps. I felt something darker than anger settle into my bones, but I tried to handle it properly. I created a spreadsheet showing exactly what she owed, including her share of utilities she'd also been short on. The total came to £1,847. I presented it to her that evening with all the calm professionalism I could muster, explaining that I understood her income was variable, but she needed to prioritize our shared obligations. She glanced at the spreadsheet and laughed. Actually laughed. She said I was being ridiculous, that she was good for it, that I was treating her like some kind of criminal over money that would come eventually. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. She said I was just jealous that her career was taking off while I was stuck in a boring corporate job. I stared at her, this person I'd shared my entire life with, and realized I didn't recognize her anymore. I told her she had 1 week to pay what she owed, or I'd be finding a new living situation, and she could cover rent on her own. 2 days later, I woke up to 143 notifications. Jade had posted a YouTube video titled "Family Money Drama: When Your Sister Demands Proof You're Struggling." The thumbnail showed her face mid-crying, mascara running, with text overlaid. "She doesn't believe me." My hands shook so badly, I almost dropped my phone. I watched the video in frozen horror. For 12 minutes, Jade sat in her carefully lit filming corner and told 43,000 subscribers about our private financial situation. She framed it as a story about an unsupportive sister who didn't understand the struggles of creative work, who was demanding money with receipts and spreadsheets, like she was running a business instead of a family relationship. She cried actual tears while talking about feeling invalidated and controlled. She never mentioned the 3 months of unpaid rent. She never showed the designer purchases or the expensive trips. She just painted a picture of a struggling creator being bullied by her corporate sister who couldn't understand that income didn't arrive in neat monthly packages. The comments were vicious. Thousands of strangers called me controlling, toxic, financially abusive. They said I clearly resented her success, that I was probably charging her more than her fair share, that siblings should support each other through tough times without keeping score. Someone had screen recorded it and posted it on TikTok. It went viral. Properly viral. 3 million views in 6 hours. More strangers, more opinions, more people who knew nothing about the situation confidently declaring me the villain. Friends texted me asking if I was okay, if what Jade said was true. My mother called, crying, asking why I was being so hard on my sister during a difficult time. My aunt messaged saying family should always come first, that money wasn't worth destroying our relationship over. Nobody asked for my side. Nobody questioned Jade's version. They just saw a sweet, vulnerable young woman being mistreated by her cold, corporate sister. I sat in my bedroom, watching my phone explode with notifications, and felt something inside me snap. Not break, snap. Like a twig under too much pressure, sharp and sudden. She wanted to play this game? She wanted to make our private life into public content? Fine. I'd show everyone exactly what kind of person she really was that I spent the next 48 hours building my case. I wasn't going to post some emotional rant or crying video. I was going to be methodical, professional, devastating. I created a Google Drive folder with everything. Bank statements showing her partial payments and my full contributions, highlighted and dated. Screenshots of her expensive purchases posted during the months she claimed to be struggling. Her Instagram stories showing luxury purchases alongside her sob story about not being able to afford rent. Receipts from our joint expenses account showing I'd been covering utilities, groceries, everything. I documented every time she'd used me for content without permission, every argument she'd twisted into a narrative, every private moment she'd monetized. I had timestamps, screenshots, pattern analysis. I'd been in digital marketing for 5 years. I knew how to build an irrefutable narrative. Then I created a Substack account under my real name. No hiding, no anonymity. Just my truth, thoroughly documented and impossible to dismiss. I titled it, The Real Story, How My Sister Built Her Brand on Lies About Me. I wrote 5,000 words. I included every receipt, every screenshot, every piece of evidence. I explained how content creation had slowly consumed our relationship, how private moments became public content, how financial responsibility had been abandoned in favor of maintaining an image online. I made it clear I wasn't attacking her career. I was defending myself against a coordinated character assassination that had real-world consequences for me. I posted it at 8 in the morning on a Saturday. Then I sent the link to every family member, every mutual friend, everyone who'd reached out asking for my side. Within an hour, people were reading it. Within 3 hours, someone had posted it to Reddit's r/bestoffredditor updates. Within 6 hours, it was on TikTok, being read aloud in parts, being discussed and dissected. By evening, it had eclipsed Jade's original video. 8 million views across various platforms. News outlets were picking it up. Commentary YouTubers were making response videos. The court of public opinion was reconvening, and this time, I had the evidence. The comments shifted. People apologized for jumping to conclusions. They called Jade manipulative, a narcissist, a fake. They dug into her old content, finding more examples of her using family drama for views. They created side-by-side comparisons of her struggling creator image and her expensive lifestyle posts. I watched it all unfold and felt nothing. Just a hollow emptiness where satisfaction should have been. Jade called me 73 times that first day. I didn't answer. She texted walls of panicked messages, accusations, apologies, threats, pleading. I blocked her. She showed up at the flat, pounding on my bedroom door, sobbing that I destroyed her career, that brands were dropping her, that her comment sections were becoming war zones. I opened the door once, just to tell her she had 2 weeks to find a new place, that I'd already spoken to the landlord about taking over the lease myself. She stared at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. The fallout was nuclear. Jade's subscriber count plummeted. Sponsorships evaporated. Her carefully constructed image of the relatable, authentic creator dissolved under the weight of evidence. She moved back in with our parents within a week, unable to afford her lifestyle without the income. But I didn't feel victorious, because the trolls who'd attacked me just pivoted to attacking her. Death threats filled her inbox. People found her parents' address and sent hateful letters. Someone created a 40-minute video essay about the dark side of content creation, using her as the primary example. I'd wanted to clear my name. Instead, I'd fed her to the wolves. Our mother stopped speaking to me entirely, not because she sided with Jade, but because I'd made everything so irreversibly public. Family problems should stay private, she kept saying in the one conversation we had before she cut me off. I'd aired everything for the world to see, and now our family was internet entertainment. She wasn't wrong. 3 months later, I found something that made everything exponentially worse. I was closing out our joint account, transferring the remaining funds, when I noticed a transaction I'd overlooked before. A payment to someone named D. Chun, sent from Jade's personal account through our joint account interface. The date was 2 weeks before our first missed rent payment. I searched the name, found a digital marketing consultant specializing in viral growth strategies for content creators. My heart stopped beating for what felt like full minutes. I called the number listed on his website, claiming I was a potential client referred by Jade.
He was happy to chat.
Very proud of the campaign he'd run for her. Organic controversy was the fastest way to boost engagement, he explained. You identified a person in your life, created a narrative around conflict with them, then strategically released content that would generate discussion and debate. Asked if Jade had been upfront about using her actual sister. He laughed and said most of his clients used real situations because they were more authentic. The audience could tell when something was scripted. The £400 she'd paid him, that was the money that should have gone to rent. She'd planned it. All of it. The initial story post, the money video, the vulnerable creator narrative, it was a calculated campaign to boost her engagement by creating controversy around me. The rent situation was real, but she'd weaponized it, strategically framed it, used it as content fodder while making me look like the villain. And I'd played right into it by responding publicly. I'd given her exactly what the strategy required, a public conflict that would generate millions of views and discussions. We'd both used each other as content. We'd both betrayed each other's privacy for public validation. The only difference was she'd done it first and with professional guidance. I never told anyone about the marketing consultant. What would be the point? We'd both already destroyed each other. Adding another layer would just feed the machine we'd created. Jade eventually rebuilt, quietly. She rebranded, moved to a different niche, stopped mentioning her family entirely. Her new content is careful, controlled, generic. Last I heard, she's engaged to someone she met through the creator community, someone who understands that world better than I ever did. I'm still in Manchester, still in marketing, still living in that same flat. I removed everything from the internet I could control, but it's all still out there, archived and accessible. Sometimes I get recognized. Usually people are kind, occasionally they're not. My mother and I speak now, stiffly and infrequently. Holidays are separate affairs. I haven't seen Jade in 11 months. Here's what I learned, what keeps me awake some nights. Privacy is a choice until someone you love decides it isn't. Family is sacred until it becomes content. And revenge, real, documented, irrefutable revenge, doesn't actually feel like winning. It feels like standing in the ruins of something irreplaceable, holding a phone full of notifications from strangers who think they know you, and realizing you did this. You both did this. Was I right to defend myself?
Yes.
Was the way I did it justified? I honestly don't know anymore. The internet gave us both exactly what we wanted: attention, validation, vindication. And it cost us everything that actually mattered. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd just spoken to her face to face, insisted on a real conversation without cameras or audiences. If I'd set boundaries firmly but privately. If I'd remembered that she was my sister before she was a content creator, and I was her sister before I was a character in her narrative. But I didn't. She posted our argument online, and the internet took her side. So I posted my receipts, and the internet took mine. And now we're both just stories that strangers tell about the dangers of family drama going viral. The irony isn't lost on me that by telling you all this, I'm doing exactly what destroyed us in the first place. Making our private pain public. Turning trauma into narrative. Searching for understanding from people who weren't there. Maybe we're all just desperate to be heard, believed, validated. Maybe that's the real tragedy, not the betrayal itself, but how quickly we'll sacrifice real connection for the simulation of it. For likes, shares, comments from people who'll forget our names by tomorrow. I don't have a neat moral. I don't have a redemptive ending. I just have this truth. My sister and I destroyed each other for an audience that moved on to the next drama the moment we stopped providing content. And somewhere in that wreckage is a lesson about what we lose when we let the world into our most intimate moments, when we trade privacy for visibility, when we forget that the people we love are people, not plot points. I hope whoever's listening learns it better than we did. Some stories end, but others begin right here. Keep growing with the telling tree. Like, subscribe, and stay with us.